What's up, guys? So, I am the author of the channel Time to Wake Up the Soul. I had an experience that lined up with what Darius is telling as truth, and I decided to start a channel helping get his truth out there. So, if you're a subscriber here, which I only have a few, then you probably already know that about me. If you're here and you're new just because you like Darius, then you might want to subscribe because I like to talk through the lens of Darius, as what he's saying is the truth. Um, I wanted to, we're just going to go through these. This is just clips. So over the last 4 or 5 interviews I've watched, I've clipped the good points that he's made. I mean, he obviously makes a lot of good points, but some of the most important points. And I thought we'd watch through these together. So
because you never die, you live on forever, and you will inevitably figure this out. Well,
that's the biggest one, right? That you never die, and you will inevitably figure this out. Um, but how freeing is that once you know that your consciousness transitions to the other side? The way you think now continues, though you become higher knowledge. So the things that you thought were completely who you were start to fall away, but the core of you remains. And I think that's the most important thing to know.
it goes back into, if you were to sum up all of this, the creation of things into one word, it would be experience. Because you can't have experience in existence, or experience without existence, existence without experience. So that
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? Experience. That's what this is all about. Yeah, it's to live in limitation, to grow in appreciation, but ultimately it's experience. And if you're here, you are already playing the hardest damn level. I don't care where you are, what your circumstances are. It's tough out there. And once you get back to the other side, you will be an OG for going through this timeline and this experience.
nothing could control or entrap your soul unless you believe it to be so. When you
That's huge. So, and you got to go a little deeper, I guess, with what he talks about. But he's saying, like, if you don't have any fear and you understand that you do have authority and power on the other side, then your mind, your subconscious won't play tricks on you to keep you looped into a form of hell because of your limiting beliefs. So, yeah, so unless you believe you're going to go to hell, you're good. And then that's only temporary until you decide to reach out for help or call it for what it is.
you like I stated before, when you leave your body, you are not, it's not a mystical, airy fairy thing. That's one of the biggest things that shocked the hell out of me when I left my body, and I continue to do it. And
So, yeah, I think that's the cool thing. I think a lot of people think like it's not going to be as real as life is here, when in fact it's going to be more real than life feels right now.
and when you experience it and you realize that your soul, you're out of your body, and you can see your physical body on the bed as well, and you realize that you never die, it's impossible at that point to control you in the way that people are being controlled now.
Because once, like, we can still be controlled because we might get evicted from our house, we might lose money, we might lose people, we might lose shit. So it's like, but once you truly get behind the fact that no matter what I do or what I fight against, I never die, I continue on, like, then the fear of death becomes less. You might not want to deal with any pain associated with the act of dying or whatever we might be scared of, but somebody that says, I'm going to kill you and you're over, once you know, like, no, I live on forever, I'm good, it takes the sting out of it a little bit. Right now, if you're younger, you have shit to live for, but once you get a little older, and your people are in a better spot, you don't have to worry so much. You know you will be connected to them forever. So someone holding that carrot of "I'll kill you" on the other side is like, I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared.
And many people haven't been here many times. This was
I think I think that one hit of like I think some people are like maybe this is their first rodeo, and then there are people that feel like they've done life like 100 or 200 times, where it's like most people have had a handful of experiences, which means they've come into this construct, whether it's during this reset or previously, a couple of times, but not as many as like the karma loop of life after life after life. If you're thinking along those lines, you probably think, well, what number is this that I've come in? Where it's like, no, you've probably only come in at certain times for certain experiences with certain people, type of thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I mean, there are souls on the other side that have never come into this creation called Earth and incarnated. They are completely content with the worlds and the lives that they're living. They do not want to experience this, and I don't blame them. But as a soul, we're all souls that want to grow. If you're here, you wanted to grow. If you're here, you wanted to have the hardest experience, because everything's easy on the other side. So this is the ultimate awakening experience.
the universe, the construct that was created to experience that, which we're not the only one of its kind in that way.
And so, I mean, it's kind of crazy that there's not another one on the other side. Maybe he doesn't know about it. Maybe there isn't another one. Maybe this is the only one. But it's kind of crazy to think that somebody else hasn't recreated this, in a sense, maybe with less limitation. I don't know. But yeah, experience what we are not. So limitation, hardship. That means we got it pretty good on the other side.
Begin to exit your body and you will leave. And when you exit your body, you will stand up. And when you stand up, you look back, you look at your bed and you'll see your body sleeping on the bed. But the interesting thing too is that when you look at your soul, your hands, the body that you're within, your soul holds a temporary imprint of your physical body. So it's going to look exactly the same, not only exactly the same, but it's going to be physical and dense. It's going to be more real than the body that you just left. And this is instantly when you experience that, there's a thing that shifts within you that instantly you realize that you live on forever and consciousness exists outside of the body.
How do you then navigate the earth as you're trying to make sense of it all?
Well, you navigate this realm in accordance to who you are on the other side. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what this has done for me personally is really staying in integrity and unconditional love to the best of my ability at all times, because the other side is in a state of always unconditional love. And so, you know, coming back here with also the distortions and what's playing out here, exactly, to also walk that fine line, you know, because it's, you know, once you wake up and once you see it, it's not always a magical experience, because you also see it all, you know.
You see the lies and the deceptions, and you realize that growth is imminent.
You know, you could say in a sense, people really want to truly master unconditional love, but to truly master unconditional love, you would have had to experience the unlovable things. Mm-hmm. You see,
that makes sense.
So,
yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one there.
And like I said before, a lot of the texts, a lot of the religions and stuff like that have truth, a lot of truth in them. Like I said before, not all is true. It's like a little bit of truth. You give them 20% truth and then 80% lie, lead them down a path of self-sabotage, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, that's a big one, is the religion. And because From somebody who's been to church a lot in my younger years when I was going through more stuff, trying to pretend to be what they said I should be so that I would feel complete, which never happened. So there was some good stuff in the Bible. And now that I'm where I'm at now, I can look back and I can say, okay, if the Bible talks about an uplifting feeling of love, compassion, and gives you like a power, that's the good part of the Bible. If it brings fear, shame, guilt, concern, anxiety, that's where they twisted it to keep you feeling really small.
You could say the ultimate currency on the other side, even though there is no currency, but the ultimate currency of wealth is the experience and the wisdom that the soul has.
Yeah. So that's the ultimate. And that makes sense. That makes sense. When everybody can do anything they want, create anything they want, have anything they want, what's the most important thing? To have more experiences. The more experiences you have, the more you can connect with other people because they've had the same experiences, the more understanding you have. I mean, there's just so much with experiences. And if you fall into the category, it's good to have like a healthy fear of some things, like don't go try a skydive without a parachute. But we are, and because we have a lack of money, a lack of resources, a lack of time, like it's hard to get out there and have those experiences. So yeah, create those memories, create those experiences with your loved ones, and be in those moments at that time. Stop thinking so far ahead into the future, worrying. Just be in the moment and create experiences, and say yes to more things, because you will be happy at the end of your life that you decided to go do that, even if in the moment you were like, oh, I wanted to do anything but that.
So when you go through your life here and trying to figure out your purpose and what you're supposed to do, it's tuning into your intuition, the thing that people shut down, the instinct of what feels good. Because what feels good, like you said before, well, why don't I just do something that feels bad naturally? Because naturally, you're not tuning into your soul's fullest expression of who you are. Otherwise, that's why you feel different, right? So when you tune into that, you just do that, you'll start walking in a path of doing things that may not even make sense to you, but you're doing it based off your soul's integrity, walking in integrity.
And that's the hard thing, especially when you play in the minutia of this world. When you have to go to work and you have to talk to all of your family and all the people and raise kids, and they're trying to fit into this world that you already know, like you don't want to fit in, so it's like all of these different levels. It's really hard to get the quietness around your mind and the confidence with who you are to find your path, your integrity, and what you want to do. I'm still not even that good at it, because it takes a certain amount of trust. Even if you know that the other side is real, it's still hard to get out of the heaviness of life and fear and worry and problems and anxiety. So if you're walking your integrity and your path, then kudos to you. Keep doing it. We need more people that are just wanting to walk in love, not in fake love.
Yeah. Once you exit, your thought process, who you are right now, does not change from when you're leaving. You're the same personality. You're the same person. So, yeah, big.
That's my favorite one. Again, like who you are doesn't go. I had my in-body experience where I felt like I was sharing consciousness with an angel, but it was really just my soul shining through for about a week, just to rip my human existence of what I've created out of comfort and into uncomfortable. And it led me down to a feeling of depression and me climbing up this incredible mountain to get to the point where I'm actually talking to you and helping spread this work. At the same time, that week I was my Godhead for a little bit in this limited reality. Like, I still felt like myself, but I was not the anxious, scared, fearful human person that I have been playing small as. And you'll understand it when you get to the other side. Maybe before, but yeah.
On the unconditional love and integrity when you do this, because the moment you step out of that, I mean, man, you're the only person that you can ever escape, and the unforgivable sin is a sin you can't forgive yourself for. So I mean,
so I've thought about that a lot. The unforgivable sin is the sin that you cannot forgive yourself for, and that's, I mean, that's like, once you get back to the other side, if you have purposely screwed up and hurt on purpose somebody's experience here, you're going to feel horrible about it on the other side. And you can apologize and you can do everything, and they're going to be okay with you because they're a God on the other side too. So they're not really worried about it. But you are going to be ashamed almost of the way that you acted. And that pain is going to hurt more than any of the pains you've experienced here. And I don't think that point has been made clear enough yet. Where you do get back to comfort, completion, forgiveness of self, you get through all of that, but you're going to actually feel the pain that you caused someone. So if you live in integrity and love, and you're trying to help, and you're trying to do better, and you're trying to be a better person, a light in this dark world, then you're not going to have anything to really worry about on the other side once you get back in the judgment of basically observing yourself, because it's not like somebody's judging you, but you're kind of observing your actions from a higher position and a deeper sense of feeling and love and compassion.
You need to be with the understanding of who we are and who you are on the other side, to make sure that you are in that state always. Yeah. The moment you start stepping out of that, I mean, you start creating your versions of hell in that aspect, right? This is also where you get, when you talk about the question that you asked, manifestation, people take it as a very passive thing of, let me just sit there and think about what I want with no action. And you've also brought up physical training as well. I'm very physically active as well myself. But that's like sitting there saying, I want to become stronger, bigger, healthier, and you just think about it on the couch and do nothing. Yeah, you could do that on the other side when you leave the body, because you could think of how you want your body to appear and it instantly changes in front of you. But in physical density, there's action applied. You need action to it. This is like I said, we're experiencing what we're not here, essentially, the extremes of all this distortions. So it's not just a thought. It's the thought and the emotion, your energy of walking it fully and completely.
So that's a good one of, a lot of people, including myself for the longest time, has been like, hey, God, can you send me some money, help me out, take care of me? And once you realize that you're the God and that you can bring in whatever reality you want, but you actually have to put in the work and start doing the steps, then you're like, oh, I get it. And it's pretty cool because the manifestation, what was it? Ugh. So yeah, so you put in the work, and no one tells you this. No one tells you this. That's why we feel so small. We feel like we're like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We don't have any control over our reality. And once you realize you do have control, well, then you realize that you have to take the steps and the actions. And then once you realize that the vision, however vivid it is, along with the emotion behind it and the vibration of knowing that you're going to get it, like if you want a reality and you're like, I don't know if God's going to give it to me, like, hey, you're the God. You get your powers back. You have powers here. You get your powers back. Whatever you want will come to you as you want it. But you have to be truthful and honest with yourself, because you are not going to attract something with the vibration if you do not believe, first off, that you're allowed to have it or can have it, or that it's in alignment with who you truly think you are. And you have to get to that soul searching of like, am I wanting this because I want the fame, the validation, the freedom, the attention, whatever? And so once you kind of get truthful with yourself and get in alignment with what you want, well then if you are on like thinking the right way, the way your soul wants, then that shit's going to come to you a lot quicker. But yeah, you definitely, it's a whole combination of vivid intention of what you want it to look like, emotion, vibration, consistent action.
And I honestly, I promise every single individual that listens to this, if you believe that nothing could touch or entrap your soul, you will be 100% free. You will not see not one nefarious negative entity, or nor will it ever be able to touch you.
I think that's the biggest like undercover thing that he's sharing with us that people just don't know. They're glossing over because they don't understand any of it once they get back to the other side. But like just the belief of knowing that you are a God and that you get your powers back and that nothing can entrap you, hurt you, or whatever, means that you gaining that freedom of power means that your subconscious isn't going to play any games with you. If you're worried about having a subconscious fear, if you get to that point of just continually saying, hey, nothing's going to happen. I know that I'm a powerful being on the other side. I cannot wait to get my powers back and get this understanding of why I came in here, what I was supposed to do. I want to get connected with all the people that I've lost. And then, I mean, you're good. But this, I think this goes on. A lot of people don't hear this. I might have to move this to the front so people hear that again. I think people really need to hold on to that of saying, hey, there's nothing to fear when you leave.
I feel it's very important to understand, because a lot of people are seeking truth. They're seeking a truth. And just like your soul has a spark that will create things within your life, the same with truth. There's a foundation to truth. And that's what a lot of people are seeking. And through all of this, you could say the number one truth is returning back to your home again, to remember that, because that's your divinity of where you've come from, where you will always return back to. And it is your true state. And when you remember that in love, then you could start to bring that here. And they call about heaven coming to earth. You could literally bring that here within your reality.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah. People are, once you kind of realize that you're not going to feel the fulfillment and the completion that I think we all want to feel, but know that you're going to get it back on the other side, then you don't so desperately crave for that connection, that love, that everything, or you put the pressure on somebody else to reciprocate what's missing inside of you and create an unhealthy relationship. It's one of those things that once you can get an understanding that you get so much more back than you can even imagine once you get back to the other side, then you stop depending on all the distractions and all the false the quick hits of excitement, pleasure, immediate pleasure.
When you get a taste of that for the first time, it's almost like getting a taste of anything that's I don't know, good for you or amazing. Feels good, right? When you get a taste of that, there's a desire for more. And that's what it was like for me. I want more, I want more, I want more. And I kept on pushing and I kept on pushing and I kept on accessing more. I got access to the records. I got access seeing the nature of reality, actually leaving this construct completely and viewing it from the Godhead.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be intoxicating. I mean, even if you get out once, you're going to be like, oh, I want to do that again. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait. And I got to get more disciplined on trying to do it. But I get so tired and I got so much throughout the day that I have to do that if I spend the night trying to leave my body, my mind doesn't feel like I've got enough sleep. And so the next day I'm so tired and I didn't achieve anything. So at some point it just is interfering with life. It's hard to carve out that time period to try to do something that might not even happen.
And she said, if you stay here, you could stay here, but you could go back. You're going to forget what I told you. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to forget anything. And then so I made the choice to come back because I was showing certain things and it was my soul that desired to come back to make that choice.
Yeah.
Because I knew that this was very temporary in terms of the greater picture of all things.
Yep.
I think that's huge, is understanding how temporary this is. He says once you get back, it's going to feel like only moments have passed. Like you were just there. Like you're going to have all the memories of this 80 to 100-year life, but it's going to feel like moments. And I think that's another one of the reasons why you hear these near-death experience people when they said, it's not your time, you need to go back, is because from their limited perspective of wanting love and feeling incomplete, this feels like forever. But once the soul understands that it's only a matter of a fraction of moments that you're like this, then and you know how much you love and care for everybody, and you're trying to be this light for the world, for your family, for where you are in life, no matter where it is, you're allowed to be that light. And so they come back here because their soul on the other side knows this is only temporary. It's not as long as we perceive it to be. Though, at this moment, it's long as shit.
And that what this adds to me and all souls, you're experiencing the unexperienced here. When you experience the unexperienced, you gain a certain perceptual wisdom that would have never been birthed unless it was experienced. You see, this realm in particular, right? And I'm just going to say it how it is. And if it goes on deaf ears, and it doesn't really matter. At least someone will hear it. This realm was originally created to experience that which you are not. Because at the end of the day, there really is no such thing as a good or bad thing. It's just an experience. And that experience gives you a certain perceptual wisdom that could have not been birthed unless it was experienced. And so
yeah, I mean, we are all here. I mean, basically think of the other side as a huge cheat code. And from our perspective now, that cheat code seems amazing. But if you've ever played with the cheat code, after a couple weeks, the game gets boring. And I'm not saying it got boring over there. Maybe we came here to just experience some shit on this timeline that we wanted to have in our trophy case of experiences. Regardless, we are, man, I forget what I was going to say. Those kids are so loud.
So this is where we are now. This one was created to experience the opposite of that. And when you look at this, and I know this is maybe I should try to give a little bit more clarity to this too. Like, yes, unconditional love is you. It's all of us. It's the core of who we all are. because you cannot have unconditional love with a judgment. But you could also say, in order to truly understand unconditional love, you would have to have experienced the opposite of it. The cardiologist.
So yeah, that's the appreciation that we gain for this life and experience. Because yeah, if like, how do you appreciate pain if you've never experienced it? Somewhat, you can't tell a fresh teenager how bad a heartbreak is. But after his first heartbreak, he can now relate. He actually understands it. That's kind of what this is.
And he says, it's titled Fasting for Survival. It's a YouTube video. And what he goes into is that when you stop eating, right, in particular fasting, right, prolonged periods of fasting, eliminating food out of your diet, your growth hormone, your genetic gene expression spikes, right? Because it's finally getting a chance to clean out all of the inflammation, all of the crap within your system, and your body's finally able to express its gene expression properly.
And so I think this is kind of the next wave of where we're going, of these people. We're trying to wake up. We're starting to see the lies, the deception. We're starting to understand the truth that we never die. We're trying to ask questions. Well, then what's this all about? What's the point? And we get this experience, but yet we've created this character in this life. So we have to gain an appreciation for being present in this moment. And at the same time, fasting. We have to start fasting, because we gotta get our bodies back to having that more of that natural energy, the creative juices and the energy flowing through us. And we also have to stop consuming so much. And once we all stop consuming so much, guys, too loud. I'm on the middle of this. I've been fighting you guys yelling for the entire time. Now be quiet or go outside. Goodness. Ah. All right. Keep going.
Right. We don't need as much food as what people think. I pretty much eat. I only like once a day, and it's pretty much what I stated. And like I said, I used to just eat fruit, but now, particularly this whole year, I've been doing that in particular with the meat and stuff, and animal fat, because my body needs it. My central nervous system needs it.
So Darius basically says he used to basically only eat fruit, but because of like how drained he was from having these out of body experiences, he eats red meat to help with the central nervous system. So he's basically red meat, fruit, and salt water. That's basically his diet, and he eats once a day. I have been trying to get to a point where I'm more comfortable fasting, but having kids that you have to, cook dinner for, and grocery shopping and all of that stuff, on top of door dashing and smelling the food, it's just really tough. But that's the next wave of people that are waking up and they're like, well, how do I help? Well, stop consuming so much, because once you know you're a soul and you realize you don't need this much food, you get to a point where you stop eating so much. So if we can all start consuming less, stop buying so much, that's how we start to fight back slowly, is hitting the mega corporations in the pockets and make them start to scramble.
And you have the first heaven, which is this heaven, the earth heaven, which was beautiful in the past. This is where you have all of the giant trees that were once here, all the giants, everything that's talked about biblically was all here. And this is where you even get the Milky Way.
Milky Way is the Operation Fishbowl, when they were trying to shoot rockets in the 50s at the firmament to try to break it, and that's the crack in the Milky Way. And it's just so cool, all this history, all these resets, all this stuff that they've tried to bury and not allow our textbooks to know. You know, it's like there's just so much cool ancient civilization stuff out there that it really is going to be really cool to go rediscover.
Is the crack within the firmament, the waters above spilling down. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were massive trees here before, massive structures here that were all destroyed. And you could say this is where you get Medusa, which is they were all petrified. Yeah. Turned to stone. All of the histories here. Thoughts your thoughts never die, man. You're everything that you think right now is contained within your field.
So you have an energetic field, and your thoughts go into that energetic field. And the more you think about certain thoughts with a certain amount of emotion, the more detailed these are, and they can almost turn into the future version of what you're going to do if you start walking that path and you start doing those things. So that's why he says be careful about what you're consuming, because if you're listening to a filthy podcast or something that's negative and bringing you down or pissing you off and frustrated, like you're putting all of those thoughts and that energy in your field, and that doesn't just go away. So you basically have to start cleaning it up with keeping yourself, away from the negative toxic energy that's going to distract you from focusing on your path.
So people don't want to face themselves, and you can never escape yourself.
I love that. People don't want to face themselves, but you can never escape yourself. So if you want to stay bullheaded and ignorant to anything, you can. You'll figure it out. Once you get to the other side, you'll get to forgiveness itself, you'll understand. But for me, it's like, I'd rather get a jump on it now. If there's anybody here that I feel like I owe them an apology because I really hurt them. Now, I don't feel like there's anybody I've really hurt intentionally, but I'm sure there's some people that might have some animosity towards me, and I don't even know about it. So, like, mending the bridges of relationships here now while you can is going to be powerful, because you're going to be proud of yourself for doing it. And, being the bigger person in the situation, as much as you probably don't want to.
You always have to face it, and you have to face it fearlessly, in a state of not being in fear, because nothing can touch the soul, nothing can entrap the soul unless you believe it to be so. And it's your belief in that being so will create your own self-imposed prison until you break free from the fear and you realize that you are an ultimate authority, just like every other soul, and you could honor each and every soul with their ultimate authority and their ability to create based off their will, right? Because your soul is connected through the central nervous system, the whole meridian system. And this is where it goes into the health of the body as well, because when you're accessing information, it's not that the soul cannot maintain all that information, but when you bring it within the body, it could fry it out, just like a computer. If you download too much information all at once in the computer will start to bog down and get slow. It's the same thing with your physical body. So that's where the health is applied as well with us. But when you leave, right, it is more physical and it is more dense than having a physical body. Your soul is more physical than your physical body. And it's all the pleasures of physicality with no limitation. So when you're over on the other side, you could do as you wish, access all things, and you are still in physicality. Karma, no, there's no such thing as karma. That is a great way to put a soul into fear of constantly thinking that they're going to be looped forever for eternity, all those things, right? You need to deal with this, deal with that. There is no judgment on the other side. The very fact of karma means that there's a judgment on the other side of some form. You are the only one that judges yourself. There's no silver cord.
Yeah. So, I think karma, I think a lot of people think there's this looping of life or boxes you have to check. And once you realize that that's all bogus just to make you fearful. Or did I hit my boxes? Did I do good enough? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, man, stop worrying about it like that.
Like when I say home, that's stepping back into, you could say, abundance, being infinite.
Oh, it's gonna be so great, guys. It's gonna be so great.
Like nothing is like it is here in that way of death of things. You know, it's life of things constantly. When you're over on the other side, you cannot bend another soul's will. You cannot take advantage or bend that soul's will, right? You can't do it, but here you can. See what I mean? This is the extreme. All forms of technology is pretty much a dumbed down version of that which we can naturally do. When people become too reliant, that's why I said the AI and stuff like that is a distraction. When people become too reliant on things outside of themselves, they stop focusing on themselves, right? The cells, themselves, and
or cells?
everything they have access to. Because when you're constantly focused on something out here, you shut down the part of yourself, the natural intuition, the instincts, the call. You shut down that soul connection, right? And when you
And that's what they're doing, distracting us and shutting it down in all of us. And it's so sad.
start to attune your field, your frequency, right? You will start to tap into the true nature, the true universe, who and what we really are, without using technology. But I think a lot of people have become so shut down, their natural abilities have become so shut down. Let's just say the construct, replace the word construct for scientifical terms as universe. So this particular universe, this construct, was created to experience that which we are not on the other side.
I wish he'd break down more of what he means by universe, because it's like there's Earth, and what I've gathered are these stars are like access portals where it leads to another time and place within this reality. Same for Mars and all the planets. So like one person hears universe and it's like, what do you mean, like the whole galaxy? And so we're still thinking in terms of there being planets and us being out in space, where it's like, can you define more of what you mean by the universe? I think that would be good to get clarity on. So anyway, that's it. Just going through some Darius stuff. You know, it's a lot of information to keep up with, but I felt like these were some of the best points and good points and the most important things to hold on to throughout all these interviews. So thanks for spending some time with me, and talk at you at the next one, guys. Later.